Hey everybody, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. What we have this time is the Minamoto Hamon Gyuto 185 millimeter knife. So the way these are made, it's pretty easy to tell here, but this has soft stainless cladding on either side of a hardcore cutting edge steel. That cutting edge steel is what's known as 19C27, full stainless steel, excuse me, easy for me to say, that takes a really nice edge. Heat treat's around 60, Rockwell maybe 61 on that. And so again, it's 3 layers. You've got cladding that covers the soft stainless cladding that covers each side of that hardcore cutting edge steel. And I think the cladding does cover the top as well. The weight and dimension should be fairly similar from knife to knife, but this particular one is 134 grams or 4.7 ounces. The edge length is right about 185 millimeters or 7.3 inches. Overall length about 307 millimeters or just a little over 12 inches. And the spine thickness on these are fairly thin knives overall, but it's about 1.7 millimeters at the back, and I measured about 1.6 halfway down, and pretty much not a lot of distal taper or tapering to the thickness of the spine. But as the grind kind of kicks in, it's not exactly where this change in demarcation is here on the finish, but it's in that area where the grind kind of kicks in, and it gets fairly thin at the edge, or excuse me, at the tip. And then this is the back shot, the choil, and it's fairly thin here as well. So these are nice knives. They're nice performing knives. They look cool. The blade height is about 44.3, so not super tall, but kind of standard height for a lot of these 180 millimeter Gyutos. The handle type is just black Packawood, which is a stabilized wood product, and nice fit and finish on this. There's stainless rivets in there. The tang is partial to keep the weight down on the handle, so the tang comes back to the back and then stops there, and then is probably in, behind here somewhere where you can't see it. On this part, you've got a pinned-on bolster that goes down onto the blades. It's not like a unified integral bolster, but kind of a neat slant to the back of that bolster, kind of a little, aggressive looking slant to that. So it's a very nice looking knife. As far as handle size go, it's appropriate for the size of the knife. They have a little bit of a cutout in the back of each side where your fingers go. If you do a kind of a racket style grip, it kind of fits in there nicely for your pinky. If you do a pinch style grip, obviously that's not a big deal for you, but kind of a mid-size handle that fits the size of the knife pretty well, not particularly blocky or anything. Nice curves to it. The balance point on these is going to be a little bit further back, as most of these style knives are, and there's your balance point. So about midway into that bolster. Let's get our beauty shot. These are, as I mentioned, pretty cool looking knives. And so they've got embossed kanji on the right side of the blade. Here you can really see the embossing on it, kind of where it got pushed into the metal in the blade. And you've got that. You've got almost like a sandblasted type finish right here. It's not exactly, you don't really feel the grind right there. It's not like an actual grind line, but it just kind of goes gently from the spine down to the edge as far as the grind goes. But you can definitely see that cladding line, really cool. That's the Hamon. And here is the left side of the blade, which is unadorned. You can see kind of an angled finish on it. The spine has a little bit of relief on the corners of it. Some people might prefer more. That's really up to you. This has a little bit of relief on the right side of the choil, but not on the left. The left's pretty sharp, so if you're a right-hander, you're happy. If you're a lefty like me, you're not. So if you want to finish that off and tweak that, you could probably put a little bit more relief on the edges of that choil into the neck there and clean that up a little bit. The blades are nice and straight. The grinds are good. The edge, I would say maybe 6 out of 10 on my scale out of the box. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. So here's what it looks like on the cutting board. And just kind of a good overall gentle profile. A little bit of a flattish area in the back. It does kind of roll to the back, and the tip is not super high or low. It's kind of in between, so you can get pretty good on a rock on these. So you can see I can get fairly high on a rock, and pretty good overall kind of technique knife. Not a super big flat spot, but should handle a lot of techniques pretty well. So these are just nice looking, easy to use knives in a conventional kind of Western or Yo handled package that look cool, all stainless, just good value knife, just nicely done. So this is the Minamoto Hamon stainless Gyuto 185mm knife.